Hello dear students, welcome to geography class. I hope all of you are doing well. Students, in this video I shall be continuing with lesson 3rd of geography, that is motions of the earth. So in the previous video I explained till question number C, that means match the following, and in this video I shall start with question number D. So let's start with question number D. I request all of you to have your eyes on the screen. So question number D is, state whether the following statements are true or false. So there are 5 statements given and you have to state whether the statements are correct or the statements are incorrect. So let's start with the first statement. So the first statement is, the earth revolves on its axis. Is this statement true or not? Yes, this statement is absolutely true, that the earth revolves on its axis. Next, statement number 2. The axis makes an angle of 66.5 degree to its orbital plane called angle of inclination. This statement is also absolutely correct. In the introduction video I explained you that the axis means it is basically an imaginary line that makes an angle of 66.5 degree to its orbital plane, which is called as the angle of inclination. So this statement is true. Next, the third statement. The third statement is, places near the equator have equal days and nights. Yes, this statement is also correct, that the places near the equator, they have equal days and equal night. Why this is so? Because when the rays of the sun falls on the equator, then the places near equator, they experience equal days and equal nights. So this statement is also true. The fourth statement, on June 21st, on June 21st, the sun's rays fall vertically over the Tropic of Cancer. Yes, the rays of the sun, they fall vertically or they fall directly on the Tropic of Cancer on June 21st, which is called as the solar solstice. So this statement is also correct. Now the last one, the fifth statement. The Antarctic Circle has 24 hours of continuous daylight at the Tropic of Capricorn. Is this statement true? Yes, this statement is true, that it has continuous daylight at the Tropic of Capricorn, which is called as the winter solstice. So this statement is also true. So I hope that question number D, that means true and false, is clear to everybody. Now students, let's move to question number 2. Question number 2 is very short answer questions. So question number 1 of very short answer questions is, why do two hemispheres experience opposite seasons at the same time? See students, I have already explained you this. Two hemispheres experience opposite seasons at the same time because one part of the earth or one hemisphere of the earth is tilted towards the sun, towards the rays of the sun, and this exposure, this tiltation alternates as the earth revolves in its orbit. For example, if it is summer in the northern hemisphere, then there will be winter in the southern hemisphere. If it is winter in the southern hemisphere, then it will be, cut this line. If there is summer in the southern hemisphere, then there will be winter in the northern hemisphere. So all this is because of the tiltation of the hemisphere. Whichever part is tilted towards the sun, that part receives more sunlight, as a result of which there is summer, and in the other part winter season is there. So I hope that the first question is clear to everybody. Now let's move to the second question. What is the angle of inclination of the earth's axis with its orbital plane? So the angle of inclination of the earth's axis with its orbital plane is 66.5 degree. This I have explained you in the previous question also, in the true and false. So this is 66.5 degree. Now students, let's proceed to question number 3rd. So question number 3rd is, what is the circle of illumination? So circle of illumination is the line or circle which separates or which divides the areas having day from that having night or darkness. It's called circle of illumination. It is the circle that divides day from night, or it divides the areas having day from that of having night or darkness. So I hope the concept of circle of illumination is clear to everybody. Now let's move to question number 4th. So question number 4th is, name the 4 seasons. Oh, very easy question. The 4 seasons are summer, autumn, winter and spring. These are the 4 seasons that we experience. Next, question number 5th. What is a leap year? So students, a year having 366 days, that means one extra day which is added to the month of February, making it of 29 days, is called leap year. The year having 366 days is called a leap year, and the rest of the years, or the rest year has 365 days. Only leap year is having 366 days. Next, question number 6th. What is revolution? See, the movement of the earth around the sun in a fixed orbit or in a fixed elliptical path is called revolution. When the earth revolves around, or the earth moves around the sun in a fixed elliptical orbit. Elliptical means oval, orbit means path. So when it is moving, when it is revolving around the sun in a fixed elliptical or oval path, that is called, this movement of the earth is called as revolution. Next, question number 7th, which is the last question of very short answer. What is rotation? See, the circular movement of the earth on its axis. When the earth is rotating, when the earth is moving on its axis, that movement of the earth is called as rotation. So I hope that all the questions of very short answer questions are clear to everybody. Now students, we will be moving to question number 3rd, that is short answer questions. So the first question is, so the first question of short answer questions are, what are the effects of revolution? See, I have already explained you about revolution and its effect. So revolution of the earth around the sun causes change in seasons, then varying durations of day and night, and solar insolation all around the earth. What is solar insolation? Insolation means exposure to the sun rays. Because of revolution only, the earth is exposed to the rays of the sun. If the earth, see, as the earth is revolving around the sun, then only different parts of the earth receives sunlight. So it is exposed because of revolution. So these are the effects of revolution. First of all, change in seasons. Second, varying duration of day and night. Sometimes on some dates the days are very long, nights are very short, whereas in some days the days are very short, nights are very long. Sometimes days and nights are equal. So this is all because of revolution. So these are the effects of revolution. Now let's move to question number 2. What would happen if the earth did not rotate? See, if the earth did not rotate, then the position facing the sun would always be warm and experience daytime. If the earth is not rotating, what will happen? The position, the portion of the earth that is towards the sun, or that is I'm saying this again. Now let's move to question number 2. What would happen if the earth did not rotate? See, if the earth did not rotate, then the portion facing the earth, then the portion of the sun facing the earth, sorry. If the earth did not rotate, then the portion of earth facing the sun would always be warm. If suppose this is the earth and this is the sun, Earth is also constant, sun is also constant. So one part of the earth will receive the rays of the sun throughout the year, because the earth is not rotating, and as a result of which what will happen, that portion of the part that is receiving the rays of the sun will always be warm, and there will be daytime there. Okay, and while the other half, the portion that is not receiving the sunlight, would be in darkness, and there will be extreme cold in the region that is not experiencing or that is not getting the rays of the sun. And in both the cases, it is not possible to sustain life. One cannot live in extreme hot weather or extreme cold weather. So it is not possible for life to sustain. So I hope question number 2 is clear to everybody. Now let's move to question number 3. Why is one full day added to the month of February? See students, you all know that the earth completes one revolution in how many days? In 365 days and 6 hours. So this 6 hours over the span of 4 years are added to make 24 hours. See, if 6 hours is added for 4 years, what will happen? 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, which makes 24 hours, which means 1 day. So this extra day, this is added in the month of February, making February of 29 days. February is of 28 days, but when one extra day is added after a span of 4 years, after the span of every 4 years, what happens? February, the 28 days changes into 29 days. So which is called as leap year, having 366 days. So that is why one full day is added to the month of February. Understood? Now let's move to question number 4. So question number 4 is, what is the difference between dawn and dusk? See, first let me explain you about dawn. The period of diffused light when the sun is not visible just before sunrise, that period is called dawn. Means the sun has not risen and it is going to rise, so the period just before that, when it is not exactly darkness and not exactly daytime is not there, so that time or that period is called as dawn. And the period of diffused light before it gets dark after the sunset, that means the duration of time after the sunset but before it gets dark, that time or that period is called as dusk. One is before the sunrise and other one is after the sunset. So I hope that the difference between dawn and dusk are clear to everybody. Now let's move to question number 5. The question number 5 is, what are equinox? Sorry, cut this line. So question number 6 is, what is equinox? What are these two special days related to equinox? In which position of the earth do we experience equinoxes? Why? Think and answer. So first of all, I'll answer the first part, that is, what is an equinox? So the position of the earth when the sun shines directly on the equator, and all places on the earth have equal days and equal nights. So this is called equinox. Okay, when the rays of the sun falls on the equator, directly falls on the equator, and as a result of which what happens, the days and nights are equal. This is called as an equinox. Now the second part of the question, what are these two special days related to equinox? So there are two special days, 21st March and the second day is 23rd September. So these 2 days are related to equinox. Now the third question, in which position of the earth do we experience equinoxes? So as I told you that when the rays of the sun falls directly on the equator, we experience equinoxes. Now as I told you about 21st March and 23rd September, let me tell you more about it. See, If I talk about the northern hemisphere, then on 21st March in the northern hemisphere there is spring equinox, and on 21st March in the southern hemisphere is autumn equinox. If it is spring equinox in the northern hemisphere, then there will be autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere. And if I talk about 23rd September, then in the northern hemisphere autumn equinox is there, that means autumn season is there, and in the southern hemisphere spring equinox, that means spring season is there. So the direct rays that fall on the equator, so because of the direct rays that falls on the equator, we experience equal days and equal nights, which is called as equinox. So at these positions, both the poles, that means the north pole and the south pole, they are equidistant from the sun. So the entire world experiences equal duration of day and night. So I hope that this question is clear to everybody about equinox. Now let's move to question number 6th. So question number 6th is, where do people experience equal days and nights throughout the year? See, in the last question only I explained you about this. So the areas near to the equator, people experience equal days and nights throughout the year. And why this is so? Why this is so? See students, since the equator stays in the same place relative to the sun, the level of sunlight received throughout the year is nearly constant. See, the equator is not tilted, only the poles are tilted, the hemispheres are tilted. The equator remains at the same position with relation to the sun. So this is the reason people living near the equator, they experience equal days and equal nights throughout the year. Now students, let's move to question number 7th, the last question of short answer questions. So question number 7th is, the sun is the main source of heat and energy on the earth. If the sun does not shine or remain hidden by the clouds for many months, what will be its effect on the earth? Think and answer. See, of course this is true that the sun is the main source of heat and energy on the earth. And if the sun does not shine or if it remains hidden, then what will happen? The temperature would fall. There will not be any warmth on the earth, because of the sun rays only we are able to experience summer season. If sun rays will not be there, then we will not be able to experience summer season. So there will be chilly winters all around. Also there will be complete darkness, as sun would not shine, it would be hidden by clouds. If sun will not shine, if there will be no sunlight, then photosynthesis will stop. In photosynthesis what happens? The plants make their own food. If plants will not be able to make their own food, then plants will die. If plants will not be there, then how we will get oxygen? We will not be able to get oxygen. And if we will not be able to get oxygen, can we survive? No, we cannot. It is not possible for us to survive without oxygen. And also the water cycle will be affected. So everything will be affected if the sun does not shine or remain hidden by the clouds. So I hope that this question is clear to everybody, and all the questions till here are clear. The students, in the next video I shall be explaining you long answer questions. Till then, thank you so much, be safe, and I'll be explaining the rest of the question in the next video. Thank you.